Love and Marriage Huntsville star Martell Holt just violated the no contact order ahead of his domestic violence conviction appeal. So could this mean that he's going back to jail?
Martell Holt is in hot water again, and this time it's not just about reality TV drama, it's about breaking the law. Reports are swirling that Martell has violated the court's strict no-contact order with his ex-wife, Melody Shari, just weeks before his appeal hearing. The same order that was meant to protect Melody and keep him away has now become the center of a new storm, one that could send him right back behind bars.
Previously reported Martell was arrested in January on a warrant for DV. Melody obtained the warrant for the charge in July of 2023. This occurred after a former friend of Martell's paramour, coleslaw, revealed the plot to use the paramour to release an explicit video featuring Melody on social media. And apparently that video actually was a video of Martell and Melody. But as you know, if you watch Love and Marriage Huntsville, Martell, even this past week's episode, is trying to paint the narrative that Melody was the cheater too. So they remind us, it says, during the latest Love and Marriage Huntsville season premiere, Melody explained what Martell did to lead her to get the warrant. Melody mentioned that Martell had sent her a text message threatening Melody to stop messing with him. He then sent a screenshot from the video they recorded. Love and Marriage Huntsville producers showed a screenshot of the message, but did not show the image Martell sent Melody. Melody confirmed the screenshot was from a video they recorded while married. She alleged that Martell's plot to expose her under the guise that Melody cheated on him with another man.
For those who followed their messy journey, this latest twist feels both shocking and predictable. After everything Martell's been through, the conviction, the public backlash, the court warnings, you'd think he'd be laying low. But no. Sources say Martell couldn't resist reaching out, crossing a line that could cost him his freedom, his appeal, and even his relationship with his kids. So what exactly happened? Why did Martell risk everything for a single message? And how is Melody coping after yet another unsettling incident? Let's break down the full story, from the rise and fall of their relationship to the legal chaos now threatening to end what's left of his career.
So the news broke last night that he violated a no-contact order. But just let me give you a little history before we get into what this means, okay? So shout out to our friends over at Urban Bell. They write this in an article that was published over 7 months ago in regards to him being convicted of domestic violence against Melody Shari Rogers. So they said Love and Marriage Huntsville star Martell Holt was convicted earlier this month for his charge of DV harassing communications against his ex-wife, Melody Shari Rogers. According to court documents exclusively obtained by Urban Bell, Martell was convicted on May 2nd, given a 30-day suspended jail sentence, 12 months of supervised probation, and fined over $500. He's also required not to have any contact with Melody. So that's important to note. Martell subsequently appealed the ruling and is out on bond pending the appeal.
Once upon a time, Martell Holt and Melody Shari were Huntsville's golden couple. They built their brand together, their family together, and their empire from the ground up. When Love and Marriage Huntsville first premiered, viewers fell in love with their charm, their hustle, and their undeniable chemistry. But behind the camera flashes and public smiles, cracks were already starting to show. Martell was ambitious, charming, confident, and business-driven. Melody was equally passionate, a powerhouse woman who refused to settle for less. Together, they looked unstoppable.
In new court documents obtained by Urban Bell, their custody case is open and no longer in mediation. Martell must also provide proof that he obtained a psychological evaluation.
But as the fame grew, so did the tension. Rumors of infidelity began surfacing. At first, Melody brushed them off, trying to protect her family's image. But soon, the whispers turned into undeniable truths. Martell's affair became public, and their once perfect marriage started crumbling fast. Melody tried to fight for her marriage. She believed in family, in forgiveness, in second chances. But how many second chances can one person take before losing themselves? The cheating, the lies, the humiliation, it all piled up until Melody reached her breaking point. Their divorce was painful, explosive, and public. Fans watched as the woman who once stood by her husband's side decided to stand up for herself instead.
But based on behavior that we've seen on the show, for me, it's sort of a telltale sign, very much like when we were talking about Real Housewives of Potomac and what TJ was doing to Stacey. It's a telltale sign, some of the things that we are seeing on camera, that it might be much worse off camera. But Martell has shown some really disturbing behavior over past seasons. Again, if you haven't watched the show, you probably don't understand what we're talking about, but there have been signs of just abusive behavior. I remember at one point I went on a rant, like, why are we allowing someone that's being abused to be filming with her abuser? I remember saying that a couple of years ago.
But even after the divorce papers were signed, their story didn't end. The tension between them only got worse. What started as a personal betrayal turned into a legal nightmare. Martell's temper and refusal to respect boundaries landed him in serious trouble. Accusations of harassment, threats, and unwanted contact pushed Melody to seek court protection. Eventually, Martell was convicted earlier this year on domestic-related charges and harassment involving his ex-wife. The court put him on probation and issued a no-contact order, forbidding him from communicating with Melody outside of custody-related issues. It was a clear and serious warning. Any violation could have harsh consequences. Yet somehow, Martell still managed to cross the line. According to insiders, the latest violation happened right after a tense court-related meeting. Melody had met with the district attorney about ongoing custody matters. Not long after, Martell reportedly reached out, demanding details about the discussion. It wasn't about scheduling or logistics related to the kids. It was personal, it was invasive, and it was a direct violation of the court's order. At first, it seemed like a small misstep, a text or a call, but sources close to Melody claim it didn't stop there. She allegedly began noticing strange patterns, Martell showing up near her home, being seen in places she frequented, or contacting mutual acquaintances to get updates about her life. These reports left Melody shaken, scared, and emotionally drained. For her, it wasn't just about a phone call, it was about feeling unsafe in her own space again. Now, the district attorney isn't taking this lightly. A motion has been filed to revoke Martell's bond, meaning he could be taken into custody at any moment. If the court agrees, his brief freedom could end immediately, and his upcoming appeal might be derailed entirely. This isn't just a legal technicality. It's a serious move that questions Martell's ability to follow rules and show remorse. When a person violates a no-contact order, especially one tied to a domestic conviction, judges see that as a red flag. It suggests that the person either doesn't understand boundaries or doesn't care. For Martell, this could change everything. His appeal was his last chance to clear his record and rebuild his image. But now, this latest mistake might destroy whatever credibility he had left. The situation is eerily familiar. Over the past few years, Martell's actions have shown a pattern that's hard to ignore: anger, control, and crossing lines that should have never been touched. During their marriage, Melody spoke openly about the emotional toll it took on her, the constant arguments, the manipulation, and the fear of being watched. Court records even revealed threats and intimidation tactics that left her feeling trapped. When he was sentenced, the court gave Martell an opportunity to turn his life around. Probation, counseling, and strict boundaries, it was all meant to give him structure and accountability. But breaking the order shows that maybe, deep down, he hasn't learned his lesson. What's more heartbreaking is how it's affecting their children. Melody's been vocal about wanting to protect them from the chaos. She's tried to shield them from the media attention, the legal battles, and the constant drama. Friends say she's been focusing on creating a stable, peaceful home where her kids can feel safe, something she never truly had during those final years with Martell. But imagine being a mother, knowing that the person you once loved, the father of your children, can't seem to respect the space you desperately need to heal. That fear doesn't just fade away. For Melody, this latest violation was another emotional blow. Even after everything, she's been trying to move on gracefully. She's focused on her career, her business, and her personal growth. She's been open about going to therapy, about rebuilding her confidence and finding peace. Yet every time she starts to move forward, something pulls her back into the same nightmare. Close friends say Melody has been incredibly strong through it all. She doesn't want to be seen as a victim, she wants to be seen as a survivor. She's made it clear that boundaries aren't just preferences, they're survival tools, and when those boundaries are crossed, it reopens old wounds. The stress has been heavy. Even though she's surrounded by support, the constant fear and anxiety take a toll. Living in that kind of uncertainty, never knowing if your past will show up at your door again, can break anyone down. But Melody's determined not to let that happen. She's rebuilding one step at a time, refusing to let fear define her. Meanwhile, Martell's world seems to be unraveling. What started as a reality TV success story has turned into a cautionary tale about ego, control, and consequences. The man who once bragged about his success is now fighting to keep his freedom. His public image has taken major damage. Fans who once rooted for him now question his judgment. Social media has exploded with reactions, and let's just say most people aren't on his side this time. One fan wrote, "Martell keeps proving he doesn't learn. If the court told you not to contact her, why risk everything?" Another said, "Melody deserves peace. She's been through enough, and he's still making her life harder." And someone else added, "It's not about the show anymore. This is real life. He needs to get help before he ruins himself completely." Those comments echo what many viewers have felt for a long time, that Martell needs accountability, not more excuses. The charm that once made him a fan favorite now feels overshadowed by a pattern of poor decisions and emotional recklessness. If the court decides to revoke his bond, Martell could end up back in jail before his appeal even begins. That would pause his legal process and potentially add more charges for violating court orders. Judges rarely go easy on repeat offenders, especially in domestic-related cases. Violating a no-contact order is seen as a sign of defiance, not mistake. And then there's the custody factor. Family courts prioritize the children's safety and emotional well-being above all else. When a parent repeatedly ignores boundaries or creates instability, it becomes a serious concern. If the judge sees Martell as a risk, either emotionally or physically, it could heavily impact his custody rights going forward. At this point, Martell's fighting on multiple fronts: legal, personal, and emotional, and every decision he makes seems to push him deeper into trouble. But here's the twist. Some insiders claim Martell doesn't see it that way. According to sources, he believes he's being misunderstood. He insists that he wasn't trying to violate the order, just trying to clear things up or co-parent effectively. But the law doesn't work on good intentions. It works on actions. And those actions, even if he didn't mean harm, still count as a violation. The sad truth is that Martell might not fully grasp how serious this is. This isn't just another TV scandal or messy breakup. This is real life with real consequences. He's playing with his freedom, his reputation, and the future of his children's peace. For Melody, this isn't about revenge or drama. It's about safety and healing. She's been through enough heartbreak to last a lifetime. All she wants now is stability, to raise her kids, run her business, and live without fear of the past knocking at her door again. As things stand now, the court's next move will be critical. If the district attorney's motion to revoke Martell's bond is approved, he could be taken into custody right away. His appeal might not even get off the ground. That would mean more court time, more legal bills, and more public embarrassment, another chapter in a story that keeps repeating itself. But maybe this could be the wake-up call Martell desperately needs. Maybe, just maybe, this will be the moment he realizes that accountability isn't punishment, it's growth. That respect and boundaries aren't signs of weakness, they're proof of maturity. Still, the damage is done. His reputation is hanging by a thread. Fans who once admired his business mind now see a man struggling to control his impulses. And as for Melody, she's moving forward, stronger than ever, refusing to let his mistakes define her story. At the end of the day, this isn't just about Martell Holt breaking a court order. It's about what happens when someone refuses to let go of control. It's about the ripple effects of emotional pain, the scars left behind after betrayal, and the price of ignoring boundaries that were set for protection, not punishment. Melody's standing tall, not because it's easy, but because she has no choice. And Martell, he's standing at a crossroads. One wrong step, and everything he's worked for could disappear for good. The question now is simple. Will Martell finally learn, or will he keep walking down the same destructive path? Because this time, the court and the world are both watching. So, what do you think about Martell's latest legal mess? Should the court revoke his bond? Or do you think there's still a chance for him to turn things around? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates on your favorite reality TV stars.